Help. But the walls pierced back the echo straight through my heart. Felt no heart melt, reminding me of the past. Yes, echoes from the past peg upon my thoughts. I mean, how can I forgive God for all that happened? Help. Nets of deceit was knitted around me, and me like a spider, a very good web designer. I entered the net, worked all my lustful desires out over time to gain power and fame over sides whose webs cord I couldn't disconnect. Cause it got me hooked on the line, masturbate, baited with sinful fat, making me weak like a carbonic acid, and so God and I lost our chemistry. He left me disabled to the world to be treated with much insanity, and you expect me to be singing my God is able? Certainty. He said he created me in his own image, and so why was I not an image in the midst of all those atrocities that draw me down? Why was I not able to walk over the stormies of this life, but instead it got me drowned? Why was I not invisible at the sight of all those calamities? Instead, me as flesh suffered under the Pontius Pilates of this world. And he still continued to tell me that he surrendered his son for me. Who? Me? Me that he couldn't surrender his son to be shown on me when I was enclosed in the dark. He told me he'll be the light at the end of my tunnel. But what if I tell you my tunnel never ended? Help. I was deceived, child, until I was shown that flaw that day, looking at my flaws, lying down the floor, counting them one by one. Jeez. I was the grief child. Yes, you won't believe. You won't believe he went that crazy enough to surrender his child for me. Yes, me. I mean, he kept on waiting all this while, looking at me, fainting all this while to mold my pieces together to make me his masterpiece. When I was helpless, he went sleepless. He couldn't stare at me being deceived and clueless. Yes, I said my tunnel never ended. What if I tell you he became my light even in the middle of the tunnel? Even though I didn't surrender, but he never put asunder. He received me and showed me love. He cleared off the dirt, and me like the prodigal son. He took me and showed me a new floor, neglecting all my flaws. He said, anytime you screamed help, I answered, but your ears were soaked of the world you never heard. I gave you my word, but you diluted it with the world. I placed you on my left side, but you left my side. In spite, I sent you a friend. You ditched him. I sent you a helper. You called him a troubler. I made you invisible, but your sins painted you clear savannah. You chose banana over my manna, but my helping hand was and is always stretched out. And unlike this peace, it never ends.